Hi and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the weekly Spark of Knowledge, the spark of knowledge that has been made possible by the StatuMentis Academy. So if you have any more interest about peak performance and how to reach your full potential and how you can train your mindset to really reach your full potential and reach your peak performance zone, this academy might be a good place to give it a visit, because we share a lot of knowledge on there. We got videos, we got podcasts, and our webinars will be uploaded in the academy soon as well. So if you got any further knowledge that you want to gain about this topic, give our academy a quick visit, because it's worthwhile. And if you appreciate the way that we try to share knowledge by making these videos, give this video a like, or even better, subscribe to this channel. Well, I already have said enough. Let's jump right into today's spark of knowledge, because I got a lot to say. Today I want to talk about mental toughness again, and I have talked about mental toughness in a recent spark of knowledge with the 4 C's of mental toughness: control, confidence, commitment, and challenge. And that was like mental toughness from my day-to-day experience, from my recent based knowledge, and I gave some practical tips how you can train mental toughness. But our partner in StatuMentis, he's a Westpoint graduate, and I am always curious. I got my experience, but I'm also curious to seek out and share experience with other professionals. And I would like to know, how do they train mental toughness at Westpoint, and what are his experiences about it, and are there concepts that I can use in my own day-to-day practice and apply to sport? Because I think human behavior is so complex. We really need this overall approach when it comes to human behavior to get the best result that we want. So I would like to share his knowledge and also concepts that I thought were pretty interesting and very useful for you all, so you can use it in your own day-to-day practice. And I really think that it can make a difference while training mental toughness. One of the things that stood out for me was when it comes to training confidence, because again, a lot of people, when it comes to confidence, have the feeling that they got very little control over it. It's there, it's not there. If you're lucky, it's there. If you're not lucky, it's not there. And that's basically it. I already told you, for me, confidence has everything to do with knowing that you got every solution to every problem that you encounter. So it's a very active component. And you need to have problem solving skills to reach a high level of confidence. And for problem solving, you need to be able to operate in a specific setting. So you need to have the space and time, and also the trust from the people around you that you have the skills, or you're developing the skills to figure it out. Well, at Westpoint and in the military, they call it freedom of maneuver. And I think that's already like a great, because it already tells the story. And I think it's a concept, freedom of maneuver, when it comes to team sport or just sport in general, we can easily apply. And when it comes, if we want to train mentally tough people. So we have to give people the space, the freedom. You give them an overall task. So let's say in the military, they give, their team a specific task. You have to go from A to B through a specific combat zone. But the way that you do it, in training, just figure it out. See what works, see what not works, tweak your approach, create this chain of trial and error, and work your way towards where you need to be. And you can imagine, if you get that freedom and space, but also trust from the people around you, that they know, okay, it might take a little while, a day, but they will figure it out. They will get where they need to be. You can imagine that builds a lot of trust. And what you see in sport a lot is that, we're very direct in our coaching. We give very little time. We see something not going the way that we want it to go, so we jump right on and say, hey, that's not what we want to see. You have to do it like this and this and this. And you can imagine that we take away the room to problem solve, and we take away confidence. We take away the opportunity to build confidence, to work your way closer towards your goal by this chain of trial and error. And notice that you have the capacities to figure it out, which build confidence. Freedom of maneuver. Another very interesting concept when I talked to him was learn to win by training through defeat, to create the component of challenge. So challenge, why is challenge important? When it comes to building mental toughness, think back of the layer of perception. And you can see a specific demand, you can see a specific obstacle as a challenge, which leads to eustress and then positive stress and increase in performance. Or you can see a demand as a threat. You're threatened by it, you're not really sure that you got what it takes, you're intimidated by it, you want to avoid it. You feel uncertain about yourself, which leads to distress, negative stress, which obviously will lead to a decline in performance. So the way that you view a demand, challenge or threat is very important when it comes to the outcome of your behavior. Increase of performance, decrease in performance. So in the army, in Westpoint, they train, the ability in people to see demands as a challenge, because they train kind of like through defeat. And that's kind of like something to think about. So learn to win by training through defeat. So in a controlled environment, they let their teams, they let their soldiers fail multiple times. And it kind of like that chain of failure will lead them eventually to victory, to completing the task. Because, one of the biggest things that I encounter in sport that really has a huge impact in a decrease of performance is athletes, teams that are afraid to make mistakes. And by fearing that, they're avoiding situations. They're not really trying to play as courageous, as forward, as intense, as creative as they could be. They try to choose more and more the safe route just to not make that mistake. They kind of like play not to fail. They not play to win because of that fear. You see that a lot. It's one of the biggest reasons why performance is declining. So learning to fail, learning to win by practicing through defeat, it's a very important thing. Because if you learn how to fail, and even more important, how to bounce back, you can imagine when you are in competition and something is not working out as you want, you have the skills to bounce back, but also the stress that failing causes is way less because you have experienced it more. And you also know how to climb back. You're confident enough to know what to do next. So I think that's a very kind of like interesting concept and what we can apply more and more in sport too. So that we kind of like set goals that we know that, teams, our athletes will fail, first few times, maybe even 10, 15 times, because it's a very challenging goal. But we keep pushing it, we keep doing it again, we keep giving them the confidence that, they will have what it takes, they just need a little bit more practice. And at the end there's victory. And that really learns to see negative events, demands, obstacles as challenges. And you learn kind of like how to really train that stamina to keep on trying because there's victory at the end. So I would like to talk more about also the other two C's of mental toughness, which are commitment and control. And I will do that in the next Spark of Knowledge because the time of this spark is already done. But if you enjoyed this video and you really would like me to talk also from this angle to the other two C's, commitment and control, give this video a like. If you got any questions about this topic, leave your comment down below. I'm very much looking forward to talk to you all in the next Spark of Knowledge. I will talk to you next week. Have a great week and stay safe.